Hey everybody, so we are doing a what sold video. It's going to be a quick one because I did not have that many sales this week. Again, just like the last couple weeks, thank goodness for Poshmark and cross-listing over to there. eBay was super slow. I've mentioned this before. April is generally my lowest month of the year. I can say that for it's just kind of been like that for years. So there's spring break, there's taxes. I had to actually spend a couple days working on my taxes, got them done with a day to spare. Thank you very much. And I don't know. And just add on top of that, like I've been having sales. I had sales on Poshmark more than eBay this week. I'm going to explain later what's been helping Poshmark a lot. I think I've hinted at it for a couple weeks, but I'll finally go ahead and share that with you. So eBay has also, I've seen some other bigger YouTubers talking about some of the glitches and things that eBay's been going through the last couple weeks, so those things might not be helping as well. Another theory I had is that on Poshmark, people can sell some clothes and then they can use the money that they get from what they've sold to buy other items. So the money kind of all just stays in-house, and I think it feels a little less painful to people if they want to buy something new. You know, they might already have some credit in their Poshmark app, and so they can go ahead and get something, whereas on some of the other sites like eBay, that money has to come from you, your checking account, your credit card, whatever, and that could be a little bit harder to justify when you're about to pay a tax bill. So just a thought I had. Etsy was super slow, as was Ruby Lane. So hopefully now eBay kind of woke up for me again this weekend. So the few sales that you see, at least half of them were from this past weekend. So I have some other good ones that happened right out, like on Sunday, which you'll see next week. So, but let's start off with one of my good sales. This is a needlework kit that you should keep in mind. The brand is Dimensions, and the line is called the Gold Collection. So for Dimensions, this is one of those BOLO, be on the lookout items for needlework kits, cross stitch or whatever. The Dimensions brand is okay, but their Gold Collection ones are really good money. Now, we had been out of town like the 14th, 15th or so, and I did a little bit of out-of-town thrifting, and this is one of the things I found. So it sold within a day. I got it listed pretty quickly, and it is missing. It's complete, which is nice. So if you look at, hopefully, okay, a picture, you can see this picture. It's sealed. Everything is in there. It just didn't have the cover picture of what the design is that you're going to be stitching. And that would originally have been in like a bag with handles, kind of a gift bag type thing. And that would have had the whole Dimensions, Gold Collection, and then the picture. So what I did is for the last photo, I grabbed a picture off the internet just to show what the finished picture was going to look like. So if I had the little bag, if it was sealed and in that bag complete, it would have been it would have sold for about $120. So because it didn't have that, I just went ahead, I listed it at $75, and I at this point still had the coupon running, so it was $75 minus about $11. So, and like I said, it sold overnight pretty quickly, and so that was nice, especially during a time with very few sales. The next one, this one actually was one of my first sales that used the new eBay International shipping. And this Woolrich jacket I picked up at Goodwill not that long ago for about $6 or so. And it's kind of a shacket type thing, not super heavy duty, but it was Woolrich. And it's not wool, it's cotton. But I just kind of like the look of it, the safari, like a field jacket, chore jacket kind of thing. And it sold for let's see, same thing. It was $55 minus the 15% coupon, and that went overseas somewhere. But as the new international shipping that replaced the global shipping program, you just ship it to, I think it's Illinois now is where the hub is. Next thing was a pair of shorts, Patagonia. I think I picked these up last fall at on our road trip, visiting family on the East Coast. And I just paid a few dollars for these. And then these sold. This is possible my coupon ended at this point. Is it true? Not yet. Not yet. Okay, so it was about $30 is what they sold for, which is not bad for a pair of shorts. And then this I did get on, we did get on our road trip, and I thought this would do better than it did. And possibly maybe if I still had my Etsy shop, or if we had put it in my husband's Etsy shop, it might have gotten a little bit more money on Etsy. I saw comps, when I looked at it at the thrift store, I saw comps for like 40 or so. But then it was beginning of winter. So the comps I saw probably were for the summer. So we listed this, you know, midwinter probably, and, you know, didn't get a whole lot of attention. And we're just coming into warmer weather, but we were ready to just move it on. And so we sold it for about 20 bucks. So, yeah, I guess timing would be everything on something like that. It had such a cool retro vintage look to it. So I'm sure the person would be super happy to get that. Another set of these knives that my husband picked up doing retail arbitrage, and these sold for about $20 as well. And then I just sold this baseball cap, a Vans. I think I grabbed it, you know, and just in case my son would want it, but he already had a Vans hat that he likes. And so we just went ahead and listed it and just took an offer for $15. And then I always kind of keep my eye out for things like this. Remington is a good brand, but I look for the replacement cartridges for different razor blades or shavers, and sometimes when they're discontinued, but people still have the shaver. And so I saw this package at the thrift store. It was $1.50. I looked it up, and they were selling for about $15. I just went ahead and did it. It's not the biggest ROI, return on investment, but it's easy, right? You just pop it on there. Everything, all the information's right on the package. And it sold pretty quickly. And let me see, I think it was the full $14.99. I think the coupon is over at this point. And I have left the coupon off, and that's fine. This rain spooner, not the biggest. Okay, so this was one of the shirts that I got as part of the Hawaiian shirt haul, right? So I got this at the same time I got all the Jams World. Now the Jams World, of course, is a bigger profit. Rain spooners are so-so. I did sell one on Poshmark for a fairly good price. Now this one, actually, I think they sent an offer, or we sent an offer for $24, and the person accepted it. So I did not, you know, I paid the same as for this as I did for the Jams World, so $15 each shirt. So I did not make a huge profit on this one at all, but I'm totally okay with that because I'm way in the profit with the Jams World shirts. And I think I was able to negotiate that kind of price for all the shirts because I bought so much volume, right? So most of the shirts are Jams World. I have a handful of rain spooners. I'll get my money back, make a few dollars on those, or at least, or on some I could probably double my money. And then the rest of the big profit is being carried by the Jams World. So I'm okay with that. This actually sold very quickly. So that was fine too. And then this one, like I said, sold for $24. And I just use like a app on my phone called Pic Collage whenever it's kind of a busy scenery pattern like this on, or, you know, pattern on any kind of clothing. I just do a quick collage where they can kind of see in the main picture the pattern up close. Next one, just these tall shot glasses, stainless steel. These took a while to sell actually, and they were kind of a pain because the thrift store had taped it all together, and it was really hard to get all the sticky tape stuff off. And these just sold for $14.99, just double checking. Yep, just $14.99, full price, full asking price. And then this Untuck It shirt, 3XL, was just a plain white shirt, and it sold pretty quickly. I think there was an offer. Let me double check. I might be thinking of another one. No, it sold for the full asking price of $30. And it's, we went to, it was like the next town over. There's a thrift store. And it's so funny because it's like the same distance in an opposite direction than I usually go when I thrift. And like my favorite thrift stores are like a certain distance in one direction. And this thrift store is good, but I like never go to it because it's like the other direction and I don't even think about it. And we drove to it as a family one day. We were on our way someplace else and I was like, this is really not that far away. So I'm going to have to start thinking more often of putting it in my rotation. So these shirts, they were plus size men's button shirts, were kind of all on a rack, and they were having some kind of special. They were like $2 a piece, or they were half off or something like that. I know I only paid a couple dollars for it. So there was a couple Untuck-Its there, and because of the size, I went ahead and grabbed them, and I'm glad I grabbed that one. And I'm glad it didn't have stains on it too. Okay, last one on eBay is not there, so I will just switch over to Poshmark. Okay, so what I was going to say about Poshmark is I'm not going to make this salesy or anything like that. I'm just going to explain to you like what I've done with Poshmark and why my sales have increased on there. So in the whole Poshmark world, if you're familiar with Posh, you need to share your items so that they can be seen and so that they can be bought. And Poshmark recently did introduce a way to share all your items in bulk. And so you don't have to just share each item one at a time. So a lot of people just do that, and that's totally fine. I have tried, you know, over the years, it's kind of controversial. Some people say you can use like a virtual assistant, or you can use what they call a bot, like a program that will share your items for you. Other people say, no way, that's going to get you kicked off of Poshmark, or it's going to affect your closet. It's gone back and forth for like years, right? So I decided, I didn't do it for a long time, but then I just decided, you know what, I'm going to try to use one. And this was a year or so ago. And so I signed up with one of them. I think it was One Shop is what it was called. And to me, it made me nervous. At first, it made me nervous because it shared automatically, but it seemed very like aggressively and very, I don't know how to describe it, but it felt like a bot was doing it, right? And so I decided that I wasn't comfortable with that, and so I canceled that. Then I tried Posher VA, and I actually really like Posher VA. I was with it for about a year, and it's an extension that you have on your computer. So your computer would have to be on in order to use it. And so, but what I liked about it was that you set it up, you could share, you know, if your computer's on, you could set it to share multiple times in a row or whatever. But it also had the feature to send offers. As soon as somebody likes something, like within a couple minutes, you could send them an offer. And I got lots of sales that way. I felt like they're shopping, they like your item, they're still on the app, and all of a sudden they get an offer, and they'll either counter or they might just go ahead and accept it. So I just kind of thought that was cool. So I was very happy with that. I would sit down to list, and I would just kind of I would click the thing and let Posture VA share my stuff, and I would just kind of do it throughout the day. So to me, it was like a human doing it, but the computer was taking care of it. I could let it go, and then I could do other things, on my computer. And the only problem was that there were days I wasn't on my computer. There were times where I just got busy doing other things, and so I would only share once or twice a day. And that can be fine, but my sales were whatever. And then I got contacted by another company called Posh Sidekick, and they reached out to me and offered me a free trial. And I thought, you know what, let me just see what it's like. And so the difference that they offer is that it's an app on your phone, and it can be running in the background like all the time. So I looked at it, and they also it wasn't as aggressive as that first one. They actually have a lot of safeguards built into it so that it shares a little bit more naturally. They have a section of time at night, if you leave it that way, where it's like turned off completely, like it won't share for a couple hours at night. It doesn't just do it, like it kind of staggers it a little bit throughout the day. And so I knew increasing my sharing is going to increase my sales, and that's exactly what has happened. So I just wanted to say, that's why there's more Poshmark sales, because I am sharing my items more often, and that's really something that helps. It does have that ability. It has all the other features. You can follow people automatically or share their items, or it does send out offers. The only thing I don't like so much is that the shortest amount of time that they do currently is 15 minutes. And it feels like a little too long, but I'm still getting sales. So I don't know. Maybe if they shortened it a little bit more, I would adjust that. And they didn't pay me. They're not paying me to talk about it today or anything like that. I would get a commission if you used my code to sign up, but I'm going to put all the information down below. So the way I understand it, my code is PishPosh. So you can there's a place where it says who referred you, and you would put PishPosh in there. But then there's also a spot, I believe it's the coupon code, or I can double check on that, but there's a place to put in PishPosh another time to get 10% off. So anyway, just throwing that out there. I will get a commission on, for anybody who signs up. But I only am talking about this because I've actually seen the result of how much, my Poshmark sales have increased the last couple weeks, even though eBay was not doing so great. Etsy's not been doing so great. So this month I've also gotten a lot busier. And so this has helped so much to just be sharing when I am like involved with so many other things. Okay, so I hope that wasn't too salesy. I just wanted to explain what's been going on. Okay, so this was one of my really good sales on Poshmark, were these pair of Rockies jeans. Now, I live in Montana, I've said before, so Western jeans are something I can come across fairly easily. These are a style of Western kind of cowgirl jeans where they're very high-waisted. They're called, with the no pockets in the back, they call that bareback. But it's a very, kind of popular Y2K mom jean type look to them. And so these sold for $60. Then here's the other rain spooner that I sold. This one had this jazz musician design all over it with this kind of the city at night kind of cityscape in the background, and I got $45 for that one. Then these Nike shorts, I honestly don't remember picking these up. I think they had been bought a long time ago and they were put in the bin to save for like spring and summer. And so my husband got a bunch of the shorts listed, and these sold for $28, which I thought was pretty good for Nike, which is very generally kind of a bread and butter type brand for us that we don't pick up very often. This Reebok hat had the Phoenix Coyotes, or Coyote, on it. Phoenix has a hockey team. Who knew? But I'm sure people who are into sports, which is not me, might have known that. And then that same store and that same day where we got the white Untuck It shirt, we also picked up this pair of women's boots by Carhartt, and they were $14 and we sold them for $56. This is a brand I really like to find, Vuori, V-U-O-R-I. I actually found two pairs recently, one pair at Goodwill, and then this pair was in one of my favorite thrifts. It was new with tags, kind of. It's just got I think someone bought them at REI and then returned them, and then when REI puts them back out on the floor, they put this secondary price tag on it. So there was nothing wrong with them. They were in really, they didn't look like they had been worn at all. And I'll show you the tag. This nice long tag in there. And these were an extra large. So the ones at Goodwill I found were just gray, I think, and they're a medium, and they're still for sale. And then this pair was an extra large, and it kind of had a camo pattern to it too. And so these sold actually quicker. I have had the medium ones listed a little bit longer, and these sold for $44. FootJoy, nothing really special. It did have a logo on it, which some logos can be really good. This is a local golf course in our area and doesn't add any value or anything like that. And having it kind of personalized like this does drop the price of, some of these types of polo shirts, but I don't think this one would have sold for that much more even without the logo. Banana Republic. I think vintage Banana Republic really should sell for more than it does. I don't know why it doesn't, but I have to show you the logo. The old Banana Republic. So this is probably 80s, 90s, 80s probably. The Banana Republic tag used to have bananas on it. And it started out as like a travel and safari type store. And you can see from the, and the other problem is that even though I think vests like this are cool, it takes quite a very special one for it to be worth a lot of money. And these pictures, these were taken in the last place we lived. I realized that maybe if we had redone our pictures at some point. I remember I can tell from the background. I can tell from the background that it was some setup my husband was trying out in our garage. And so not the greatest background for that vest, but we finally sold it for $22. And then speaking of Nike, this is Nike SB, which is skateboarding. And I just picked up this sweatshirt at the thrift store. I thought it was interesting. Poler. Polar is a outdoor brand. So this was a collaboration between the two. There weren't too many in solds. This was listed for most of the winter probably, and it finally sold for $26. These nice little nude color heels were part of the garage sale. We helped some friends do a garage sale, and then we just went ahead and helped them clear out all their leftovers, and a lot of it we donated, and a lot of it we gave to some other friends who were going to have a yard sale as well. And these were, something I just decided to put on online because they were in actually pretty good condition, and they were a wedge heel. I can show you. And I think this color shoe is actually fairly popular. So Franco Sardo, kind of a so-so brand, but $20, and they sold within a few weeks. And then I talked last time about Chaco and how I don't have a lot of success with Chaco. Maybe I just haven't found the right ones yet. Like the ones last week were more of like a kid size. And then I mentioned that I have a pair of black leather ones that have been listed for a really long time. You know, they're not in the greatest shape, but I do realize that I think the canvas ones actually do sell better. And so when I got the $22 offer, I was super happy to take that. Travis Matthew, another golf brand. I kind of had to fight for this $20 because the buyer came in with a really low offer. I've been getting tons of low offers this week and the week before. A couple other resellers were talking about on Instagram that it just seems like out of nowhere. Crazy, crazy lowball offers. But so this one was pretty low. Travis Matthews, okay. It's not, you know, it's not going to sell for super high money, but this shirt was in nice shape. It was really good colors. I double checked prices on eBay and some had sold up in the like 30s. And I had just decided I didn't want to go, you know, I got to draw a line even though I need cash flow. So I got the buyer, we kind of went back and forth and we got up to $20 and I said, okay, I'm good with that. Dansko, I usually only pick up some of the unusual styles of Dansko. These even had some wear on, you know, the off-white color on the sides. But the fabric on top was in fairly good shape. Was in, you know, actually pretty good shape. So these sold for $29, an offer that I took. And then here's another shirt from my Hawaiian shirt haul, Nat Nast, limited edition, and it had this really nice graphic on the back going to the sun, which is a road inside Glacier National Park. And that sold for $58. Just a basic REI co-op. I think my husband picked these up at our little thrifting outlet place. And I went ahead. This is one of the kind of lower offers that I got, but I went ahead and took this one. It's not like it's merino wool or anything. It's just a polyester blend, base layer type thing. REI co-op is okay. Some pieces do better than others, but it was such a slow week. We just went ahead and took that one. And this one's been listed a while. This is what I was talking about. When I first found this brand, I don't know if it's Cricket or if it's Cricket or whatever it is. I looked them up and I was like, wow, the sell-through rate is really good on these. And so I listed mine and it just sat and sat and sat and sat and sat. And it could have to do with the logo. Now, this logo is only on the sleeve and it says Carpe Diem on it. And as far as I could tell, it was a golf course like in Italy or something like that. So I thought, somebody might want that. Anyway, it took a while to sell. And so when I got a $23 offer, I said, yes, please. And last one, just a beanie hat that we got at the bins with Gonzaga on the side. And that one sold for $14. Moving over to Etsy. This is my husband's shop. Just a couple sales there. We've got this vintage coffee mug with a frigate sailing vessel on it. And that sold for $15, as I said, plus shipping. And then this little Rolodex, this kind of been popping around our inventory for a long time. I used to pick these up. Some of these do really well on Amazon. And I think I had it listed on Amazon while I was still doing merchant fulfilled. And it hadn't sold. I only had a couple things listed. And then we pulled the stuff off of Amazon. And it's just kind of been sitting ever since. I was about to just donate it, whatever. But my husband went ahead and put it in his shop. And it sold for $28. And then I think I have a tab you don't need to see. And then Vogue, one sewing pattern, $12. That's it for the week in Etsy. And then Ruby Lane, a couple little tiny sales. This little book, you know, it's kind of postcard size. I've sold, you know, these books I usually pick them up if they're fairly cheap, because they still seem to be pretty popular with people. And this sold for $14. I've come across ones like it, you know, a few times in my thrifting career. And the only other one was a brooch. So Crown Trifari, kind of an abstract, funky looking thing. And they were doing another sale on Ruby Lane, just 25% for some jewelry. So I just kind of threw a bunch of jewelry into the sale, and this sold for $15. So that was it. That was my week. Hopefully you guys all had a really good reselling week, or if not, just hang in there. April stinks. It always has. And summer is kind of tricky, but we will get through it. You know, just keep listing, keep trying to stay consistent in your shops, and just do the best you can. So I will see you later on this week. I think I have another, I'm not going to do the second half of the jewelry quite yet. We'll do that a little bit later on. But I am going to have another Bolo type research video for you on a topic that I will reveal at another time. So anyway, thanks everybody as usual, and have a great week.